April means that tornado season is kicking into gear, and while we can't stop Mother Nature from showing off, we can do our best to help you guys stay powered up if the lights end up going out. Whether you're hunkered down in a cold cellar or you're just waiting around your house for the power to come back online, we're gonna go over a few realistic options that actually make sense for you guys to spend your hard-earned money on so that you have power this tornado season. No fear mongering and no bunkers required unless you're into that. When a storm comes through your area, chances are you're not dealing with your house being completely flattened, and if you are, backup power is probably the least of your concerns. What does happen a lot more often is power lines go down, transformers blow, and whole towns or neighborhoods go dark for hours or even days. So at the bare minimum, you just want some power to keep the lights on and your food cold while the storm passes over and the cleanup is underway. And before we jump into talking about the gear, we're going to talk about what actually matters during a power outage. You're probably going to want some lights so you're not stuck in the dark. You're probably going to want to charge your phone so you can stay in touch with loved ones or whoever, check the radar, see what's going on. Probably want to power a fridge or a freezer so that all your food doesn't go bad. You might need to power some medical equipment like a CPAP machine or just keep medicine cold, and maybe a fan, a heater, or like a small TV just to pass the time. You probably don't need to power everything, just enough to stay comfortable and connected. So starting at option 1 of 4, the most entry-level way just to get backup power into your house is something we would consider a small portable power station. Obviously, there's absolute tiny guys, but when it comes to powering your house after a storm, small probably refers to anything that would basically be the size of this F2600 and up. Something like this could power your bare necessities for about a full day. On a unit like this, you could charge your phone, run your fridge, and even run some medical equipment depending on the size. Depending on how much you're trying to pull from it, a unit like this could get you by for a couple of hours, up to a full day if you're really, really light on it. It's not going to run your whole house, but on a single charge, it will run most things in there. So it gives you a little bit of peace of mind. It's also super easy to wheel around. Most of these smaller ones have a pull-out handle, some wheels on the back. They're under 100 pounds, so you should be able to lift them up and move them around. And they even usually support 12-volt car sockets. So if you wanted to get like a 12-volt fridge, that will consume a lot less power than running things off of the AC plugs. So for this first option for the smaller portable power stations, we would recommend something like this Anker F2600, an EcoFlow Delta Pro, or like a Pecron E3600, something in that range. It's a pretty good amount of power to get you by. You can always get the small little EcoFlow River or Anker C300s, and you could power your router, but that's not going to be enough power to actually sustain your fridge for any amount of time or really do much. Those are good for like day trips or, charging phones, laptops, stuff like that. You kind of have to at least jump into something like this is the bare minimum unit size we would recommend if you're trying to get backup power. Option 2, if your outages are normally longer than a couple of hours to a day, or if you just have a little bit more power demand, we would recommend you step up to a little bit of a bigger portable power station and probably some foldable panels. We recommend the foldable ones because unlike permanent mounted solar panels, if you have a storm, there's always a chance that those panels end up in your neighbor's yard and you can't use them. So a foldable panel, you can keep it in your house somewhere safe. When the storm passes, you can run it outside, set it up, recharge these units with those panels, and if you do your math right, theoretically you should always have power. A unit like this EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 would keep your essentials running a bit longer without a charge at all, but it also gives you the ability to power some bigger things. This is a 4,000 watt inverter. It does 240 volts, so you could even do like loads of laundry on this guy if you wanted to. It's got your 30 amp plug, it's got an L14 generator plug. It's a little bit more versatile. It allows you to do a little bit more within your home. If you plug it right into a sub panel or something like that, using a transfer switch, it allows you to have a bigger solar input. This is kind of what I have at my house in case of a storm, because typically if we get a power outage, it's just about a day, but I want to make sure I have more than enough power because normally my neighbors are knocking at my door asking to borrow some. So depending on your needs, something as small as the Delta Pro 3 up to the Delta Pro Ultra would be a great option. You can also do the 2 Pecron E3600s with the 240 volt adapter cable. That's probably the best deal you can buy right now that gives you 240 volts and as much battery and inverter power as a Delta Pro Ultra. So if you guys are kind of in this market, I would check that out for sure. You could also look at something like the Anker F3800 or the new F3800 Plus. Both are great units. But if you're trying to go portable power stations, they don't really get much bigger than those units. All of these portable power stations, you usually can get expansion batteries for them. So if you wanted to get this and you found that you're going to chew through the power a little too fast, you can buy an additional battery, or 7 if you need to. But in terms of portable power stations, this is kind of the top end of where they start to max out with something like the Delta Pro Ultra or the F3800. If you don't think that portable power stations are for you, you could also consider a more traditional solar kit. Now, lots of people think that you need a full solar kit to take advantage of the technology, but that's actually not true. And in a lot of cases, especially if you're going to be getting hit with high winds, it might make sense not to have solar panels. You could do something simple where you get an inverter and a couple batteries, and not only will you have backup power after the storm, you can also start to use this to do what we call peak shaving for the rest of the year and basically save a ton of money on your power bill. So basically with a system like this, you would have your inverter hooked up with some batteries. You can use just regular power from your house to charge those batteries. When the power goes out, you switch from consuming power from the grid to consuming power through this inverter from those batteries and basically powering all of your stuff that way. And like I was saying with peak shaving, basically what you could do for the rest of the year is during the nighttime, you can use the power from your house to charge those batteries when it's the off-peak utility rate, so you're charging it for a little bit less. And during the day, when the utility rate is on peak and it's more expensive, you can actually take power from your batteries to power your house instead of paying for that high peak rate. And so you actually shave that down, so you're always just paying the off-peak hours. And doing that, maybe not right away, but over time will actually probably cover the entire cost of your system and earn you your money back within a year or a couple of years, depending on how big you went. And so some units for this option would be something like this EG4 3000 watt inverter. It's nothing crazy. It's enough for home backup, does 120 volts. You can pair it with their Life Power 4 or the EG4 LL batteries. We have a really good discount code on both of those that you guys can use. And obviously you can stack as many of those batteries as you want to build the system as big as you want. If you need a bigger inverter, you can go up to EG4's 6000 XP, 12,000 XP. If you're doing an 18K, you're probably putting your whole house off grid. So I don't think you need that much. And as you scale up in the inverter size, you could also scale up your batteries. So you can go from the little LLs, you can get wall mount batteries. Typically they start at like 14 kilowatt hours. So tons of options. We'll just leave a ton of links in this category because you can really build the system as big or as small as you want it. It's kind of permanently installed and just super easy to use. And of course, there's more brands than just EG4. We will leave links, like I said, down below to any of the products that we kind of recommend in this realm. There's stuff down there from a couple other companies that we also recommend. And option 4 would be like a dual fuel generator. If that's the route that you want to go, no one's going to be able to tell you not to. There's some people out there who just love the gas technology and that's what they want to do. The big thing is that if you're not prepared, you can't always get gas. And obviously a lot of people are prepared, but if you get caught with one of these power stations, you can easily throw the solar panels out there and charge it up. You can easily plug it into your house and do it that way. You don't have to go to the gas station, hope they have power, fist fight people for the gas, and get into like the whole ordeal. We're not here to start political fights about people that love gas generators. If you're watching this, just go for it. They're loud, they're smelly. Typically you have to go into the storm to set them up. You can't have it inside of your house. We prefer, obviously, portable power stations, solar gear, stuff like that. But what do we know? So at the end of the day, you don't have to go full prepper to be ready for this storm season. Even just a smaller portable power station can make those power outages in those days a lot more manageable and comfortable. Choose something that fits your space, your needs, and your budget, and probably don't wait till your fridge is already warm to start thinking about it. Like we said, there's links to anything that we would recommend down below, as well as coupon codes that we can get from anyone to help you guys out. There's also info on this month's giveaway. There's tons of videos and playlists that we put together to help you learn if you're new to this. That's all we got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.